There was a time when I thought I was unbreakable. I had trained, fought, built myself into something more than just a man. I had faced fear, I had embraced pain, and I had risen time and time again. But then, I met Bane. He was different, stronger, more brutal. He didn't just beat me, he broke me. And when I lay shattered at his feet, he didn't kill me, no. He did something worse. He threw me into a prison, a pit deep in the ground, a place of suffering, a place where men were forgotten. And there, trapped in the darkness, I realized something. I had lost myself. Sometimes in life we hit a point where we feel like we've lost everything. We get knocked down so hard we don't even recognize ourselves anymore. Maybe we failed. Maybe life has beaten us down. Maybe we feel like we don't have any strength to keep fighting. That's where I was, in a hole, staring up at the light, feeling weaker than I had ever felt before. And that's when the real work began. In that pit, I had no choice. I could accept my defeat and rot in darkness, or I could use the darkness to rebuild myself. So I trained. I strengthened my body, I sharpened my mind, and I stripped away every weakness, every doubt, every fear. I went to war, not with Bane, not with Gotham, but with myself. And then, I climbed. The walls of that pit were steep. The jump to freedom, impossible. Many had tried, many had failed, but I realized something, that the thing that made the escape possible was not strength, it was belief. I had to climb without a rope, without safety, without a net. I had to commit fully, completely. I had to put everything on the line and choose to rise. And that's the lesson. Sometimes in order to become the person we were meant to be, we have to go dark. We have to step away from the noise, away from the distractions, away from everything that's keeping us weak. And we have to do the work. Because transformation just doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the pit. So maybe you're in a season where you feel lost. Maybe life has knocked you down. Maybe you're staring up at the light, feeling like you'll never reach it. Good. Because you're exactly where you need to be. Now it's time to do the work. Train your mind, strengthen your body, find your purpose, and when the time comes, climb with everything you got. Because on the other side of that pit, that's where you want to become who you were always meant to be. Are you ready to do what it takes? If so, go dark. Get to work, and when you're ready, rise. Welcome to the 1000 Podcast, a warrior's journey of faith, fighting, and lifelong learning. I'm your host, Blair Perrin, and today we are finding ourselves in the pit, but we're not going to stay there. When we look at Bruce Wayne's story here, and I love this analogy because we find Bruce in such a dark place. Now, what is the pit for us? Have you ever found yourself in the pit? And is it the pit of despair or discouragement or depression or even burnout? Well, I know that I have been in that pit time and time again. And when we look at this story, I think we can take away these 3 keys that's going to be able to help us get out of that pit. And not only that, but if you wait till the end, I think I can give us a bonus key, something that's really helped me get out of those times and places. Well, the first key, when we look at Bruce's situation, we see that Bruce has been placed into prison, his body has been broken, and I think this is the first key. The first key is being able to work on our body. What's important about our body is that our body is the host. It hosts, it's the vessel for our mind and our spirit. And when we begin to address the body, we can immediately see changes, like physically and emotionally and with our energy. And so sometimes when you are in depression, when you are in burnout mode, right, it is so hard to even roll out of bed. And so my invitation to you is to begin creating momentum. So what are those little things that you can do to start creating momentum? Like brushing your teeth, like going out and doing your laundry, folding your clothes. Sometimes it's those little things. And when you can get to it, then Make sure you're getting outside, taking a walk, being able to change perspective, getting around people, even if you're not going to, conversate with them. Maybe it's going on a hike and getting yourself moving. The most bang for your buck is, I believe, is beginning a strength training routine, because you're going to start to see gradual changes in your body. And yeah, it's going to feel good. Sorry to bother you, but I wanted to thank you so much for checking out the 1000 podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more like this, please subscribe and comment below how this episode made you feel. But don't stop there. You're going to want to hit that notification button, because we're just getting started here. And in the next few months, I plan to drop a new episode every week until we hit 12 episodes. And that will be season 1, where we will take a week off to stop and evaluate all of the feedback for this new podcast, because your input matters. And just to show you my initial appreciation, I'm dropping freebie downloads that I've created to help you, my community, begin to find your purpose in this season. If you've been feeling stuck or just needed some encouragement or direction, Blair's Guide to Discover the Reason for Being, that's the title, and part 2 called Season for the Reason, both guides will be available today. Not only that, I have one more special gift, and it's a free guide to help us learn to protect our hearts, or to guard our hearts. This is something I wish someone would have told me as a young man, also great for a young lady, everybody really, but now I am giving this knowledge away to you simply because I believe you matter, and you should believe so too. Thank you. Let's get back to the episode. Now let's move on to the second key. Now, Bruce did not do this on his own. He actually had the help of a guide or a mentor, someone that was in prison as well. But what was awesome about this was that that guy was able to witness someone escape from the pit. And what does that do for Bruce? That shows Bruce that this journey is not impossible. And so not only that, I think another key takeaway from this is that that guide was able to give Bruce a how-to to get out. And sometimes that's exactly what we need. Maybe you have someone around you right now that is able to give you perspective. Maybe you need to seek out a counselor or a coach in this season. But the thing about having someone that is on your side, someone that can champion you, someone that can give you words of encouragement when you're in such a dark place, can be extremely beneficial. I know that any goal that I've ever set in my life, it's been half-lifed when I got myself a coach or a mentor and I didn't do things by myself. And so maybe that's the season for you. Maybe that's exactly what you need. All right, it's time for the third key. So the third key is that Bruce needed to take action. Is it time for you to make a move? No one can make a move for you. You're the one that has to get yourself out of the bed. You're the one that's going to have to start creating momentum in your life. You can have coaches and mentors that can come alongside you, that can help you, but at the end of the day, you got to do this. You got to take action, and you need to take courage. You need to take the leap of faith to be able to go from one platform to the other, because on the other side of that fear, the other side of that platform is your freedom, and for you to be transformed into something new. All right, so I want to give you the last key. This is a key that isn't exactly here in this story, but this has helped me change into a new person every time that I find myself in the pit. And that key is changing your mindset or shifting your perspective, in a sense of, yes, life can put you in the pit, situations can put you in the pit, but once you get to a place of learning how to embrace it, you can start to build and transform. One of my favorite animals in the animal kingdom, or it's an insect really, it is a moth, because one, they are extremely beautiful. They can grow up to some crazy sizes, even bigger than my hand, but they are a creature of the night, and they start off as just like a butterfly, not a caterpillar, but like a horned worm. And eventually they So at that phase, they are consuming their only job is to eat and to grow. And then they get to a place where they have to crystallize and go into darkness. And when they're in that chrysalis, a lot of things are changing. They're transforming on the inside. No one can see them. They're hidden away. And that's when the beauty begins. And when it's time, when the season is right, you begin to emerge. So the moth now comes out of its chrysalis, and it's no longer a horned worm. It has wings, and it has been transformed. And so that is my invitation to you, is to begin to embrace the season of isolation. Embrace that season of being away from other people. It's okay to work on yourself sometimes. And especially for those of us that like to be around people, that like to serve people and help other people in different ways. Maybe you're a personal trainer, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you are a counselor, and you're giving, but you're not receiving much because that's just not where you gain your energy. Like myself, I'm pretty introvert, so I gain energy from actually being alone, being reflective, having time to just be creative. And so one of the best pieces of advice someone gave me, for someone who always gave away himself, especially as a personal trainer, massage therapist, was they said, Blair, you need to learn how to be selfish sometimes. And I think that's one of the hardest things to kind of really embrace, is that it does feel selfish being able to work on yourself, but really it's not. We all need time to be able to grow and change and mold ourselves into something new, because when we get out of that dark season, then we come in with a new passion, fresh fire, and we can give more value to the people around us. So that was the last key. Embrace the season that you're in and change your perspective from being in the pit of desperation, the pit of despair, and turn this into the pit of opportunity. All right, so that was not just 3 keys, but 4 keys that could help you be able to start transforming your life if you ever found yourself in the pit. So the first key, work on your body, gain momentum, get out of bed, get into the outdoors and start walking, go to the gym, start changing your physicality. Number 2 is look around. Maybe you have a mentor or a guide, or maybe it's someone on YouTube that is able to lend you some encouragement and tell you, hey, bro, sis, you're not alone. And so the third key is you need to take action. Yes, help is there, but at the end of the day, you got to do this, and you got to take courage, and you got to take the leap. This is the time. And my last and final key was and is change your perspective. Yes, you might be in the pit of discouragement, despair, depression, or even burnout, but this is also the pit of opportunity. Take this time to work on yourselves and emerge into something greater. Transform yourselves into the better version. And from that place, you'll be able to give value to the world in a whole new way. And so that is it. I am Blair Perrin, and this is the 1000 Podcast. If you enjoyed this journey, if you liked this story and where we're going, please give us a subscribe, and look out for the next one. Join my email list. Check out blair1000.store. Get your free guides, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.